What is up, guys? Wraith here, Great Bearded Gaming Society. We're at it again, causing some trouble. This time I've spared everybody the video of me running across the planet, and we are out here right now in western Karana, right outside of Caños Hills. Came out of the zone line, hung a sharp left. We are back here in the corner of the zone, and you can see my little arrow right here, and we have been beating up on Misty Story Swapper. Now, I haven't been here all that long. The experience has not exactly been tearing up, but I did get the camp broke. Right here at this first little building, there's a guard that spawns. Right at the second building here is Misty. Now, Misty can be of varying levels. So far, every time she's spawned in, she's been yellow to me, which makes for a pretty decent chunk of experience per kill, which is not bad. Basically, what I've been doing is getting the fear on her and bringing her all the way up here into this corner. Loading the dots on her, getting the pet on her. And then putting that fear on her. Well, the old school fear kite. Oh, that fear resist. Of course, she's taking it from the pet and from the dot at the moment. So honestly, shooting the fear might be a waste of mana, but we're going to do it anyway. Just make sure she doesn't meet up the pet too bad. But the one advantage of these killing these bards is they do not have a ton of hit points. As you can see, she was yellow to me and she dropped like a bad habit. Thanks to our handy dandy heat blood there, just kind of really wrecked through her hit points. Now, the other spooky thing about the bards is, as I was saying, of course, you could probably hear my little timer beeping when it went off there, is that she is on about a 6-minute spawn, give or take. So there was a whole article that somebody wrote more in relation to a P99 or classic server, so I'm not quite sure how it holds up exactly against these servers, but it seems to be relatively close. And it was called the 6-minute bard diet, and basically it was a list of bards all over Norath that you can beat up on that are in about a 6-minute spawn. Some of them have been adjusted. I did reread the article here recently, and there was kind of an update. Some of them are either longer spawn times or kind of moved around, but historically, one of the famous things, especially about a Necro, back in classic Kunark Velius, was that you could level from 12 into your 40s, and if I'm not mistaken, pretty close to 50, just by killing these bards. Now, that meant you were going to be kill on sight to any bard that you saw, and there was going to be random people in some towns even who wanted to kill you because of the bard faction there. But generally, as a Necro, most people just did not care. You find out where you can sell, where you can't sell. It's a Necro does what a Necro does. Now, one of the things I also did read about this particular camp, and we'll check our time real quick. See, it's supposed to be 4 a.m. in the morning, but there's a merchant that spawns right behind here that, according to some posts that I've read, he was supposed to be able to sell to at night. However, this particular person wants absolutely nothing to do with me when I try to talk to her. So the advantage, however, at least to literally the loot that's dropping at the moment, I guess technically a mandolin and not a loot, is that they are super lightweight. You don't have to worry about going super encumbered. I do not know what these things sell for, just that I've gotten a couple, because I haven't been here all that long. The one thing about the camp is it is much more of a slow-paced camp, kind of an AFK camp, if you will, as it's classically called. There's basically 2 mobs right here that we want to worry about. There'll be Misty Story Swapper at the second hut right there. There's another guard, or I say another. There is a guard that spawns right about here at the first barrel. I have not checked his spawn timer yet, but I have gotten, in the time that I killed him once, and he was an even con to me, I have killed 3 Misties. So, take away from that one, it's been about 12 minutes. Haven't seen him just yet. I'm sure he will spawn back up. You've got this little guy running around here, Brother Estelle. I can't remember what he's for. I probably should have looked him up just for sake of the video. But he runs around here as well. He is KOS. Haven't seen a lot of point in honestly killing him, but at the same point, why let him run around? Let's put the kibosh on him just so he doesn't get in our way at any other point. I know, I'm pretty sure some of the stuff he drops is quest-based, quest-based stuff, I should say. That he's just kind of daring in the way. Mostly I've been popping him off just to keep him from adding to anything else that I've been doing. So we have the busted prayer beads, which some sort of quest item. Human blood. We'll keep that. We'll drop that. Again, keep tabs here on the first guard. Haven't seen him spawn up yet. Now there is another guard who does dash into the area rather randomly. He's got quite the total pathing, so you kind of keep an eye on it. It's one of the reasons I'm up this hill and not on the other side. He was here when I first got here, but of course I came in with my invis on, to not cause too much trouble when I first arrived, so I could kind of get the lay of the land. And kind of run up the back of this hill here. Like I said, I'm back here and I'm in the corner. It's relatively safe. I can pull her back to me, beat her up here in the corner, or the guard. Like I said, I beat him up too. I pulled him back here to get him away. It was an easy split. When I pulled the guard, I did not get her. But the reason, like I said, that you don't want to fight out in this area, out here, is if this other guard runs up behind you. I believe his name was McCluskey or McClusker or something to that, something along those lines, I should say. He is way bigger than anything else, at least as far as I can tell. He conned in at red to me, so I'm pretty sure he is quite sizable. When he pops back in, we'll check him again. But I want to say he was a larger guard, and he just runs around. So here's Misty again. So let's go here and still get another pull going on here. Hit with the darkness again. She spawned in yellow again. She's spawned in pretty consistently so far at about level 15. Which has been nice because, again, as she is yellow, that is a pretty decent chunk of experience. They're getting range. Throw the pet on her now that she's kind of on the hill. Get the dot rolling. A little attention to the pet. Get the fear on her. Kaboom. And she is off to the races. Don't really need another dot if you want to kill her kind of quicker. You can throw that on there, but as I said, she spawns. It's about 5-6 minutes. I probably need to put a better timer on it than I have been. So what we said, I got a 6-minute time down set. So as soon as I hear the pulling up, boom, hit my timer. That's a 6-minute timer. We'll see if it makes the whole timer if she spawns in beforehand. But so as you can see, she's worth a pretty decent chunk of experience. I want to say, like, that kill right there makes 4 kills on her. And in those 4 kills, I want to say that she's pulling somewhere between 2.5% and 3% experience per kill, which is, again, it's pretty good. And again, this is more of an AFK kind of camp, if you will, with that kind of gap between the mob spawns. You know, again, we are not twinked. We don't have gear. We're keeping up with our mana just fine. And she hits like a truck if she gets a hold of you. But bards are notoriously famous for having low hit points, even if they do hit kind of hard. She will plow through the pet pretty quick. And thankfully, we haven't seen like a chain of resistances or anything yet. I believe she can spawn in the range of anywhere from 12 to 16. But with her lower hit points, as long as you land the spells on her, she's just going to be in big trouble. As you saw, you know, Heat Blood really just kind of worked right through her hit point bar on its own. So we're going to sit here for a little while. We're going to see what we can do. I am curious to see what these mandolins sell for. I thought they were, you know, a decent little penny. So we'll get a couple of those. We'll shoot over to probably POK, just sell and see what they do. But this was one of those very, very classic camps where, you know, it's more of an AFK. Like I said, I keep looping over myself here. It's more of an AFK style camp. It's not super active, right? You get your pull, you get your kill, and you calm back down for a second. You have time to get all of your mana back, time to really collect yourself, you know, before she spawns back in. You have numerous spawns of her before the guard comes back in, which is apparent by, again, I killed him to start with. I've now killed her 4 times. She does drop that loot every single time so far. So that's 4 kills. And even if she's only spawning at about a 5-minute interval, you haven't timed it, we'll kind of see exactly what it is here. You know, you're still talking about 15 minutes and still no guard repop. So, you know, we'll keep tabs on him. You know, pull some of these mandolins back. It's a nice, safe, slow kind of fear kite. Quiet off in the corner. If you want to play something else, get another game running on a tablet off to the side. Watch a movie off to the window and just put a boot in her tush every time she spawns. Have at it. It should be a great camp for that. Plenty of times said keep the buffs up. There are a couple guys I noticed off to the side here and they're kind of even. Obviously they're ready to attack because I'm a Dark Elf and I'm a Necro. They're so close together that I'm probably not going to try to mess with them just yet. However, there might come a time where they could be in great peril. If we get to the point where we're pulling well ahead of the camp and it's really not a problem, they might have a hard time if we decide we want to pad that experience even more, especially if we could get them split a little even. So we'll kind of see how that goes. We'll check back in with you guys here in a little bit. Again, this is Misty Story Swapper. Pretty easy camp, easy to break into. So we'll see. I'll catch back up at some point after we sell these, see what kind of plat we're talking about here. But if you want a camp where you can get kind of laid back, do some other things, this might be just the perfect spot for you. It's also got some interesting, decent background music, so you're kind of in a little village. But, pretty good camp. We'll check back in. I'm going to try a couple more places in this level range, but the first bard of many, Misty Story Swapper, is now in the bag. We're going to beat her up for a few more times and see what we can do. Alright guys, so we are back. We're still here at the Misty Story Swapper camp. And like I said, at this point, we have taken her out a handful of times. You can see just kind of the first one, right, which kind of started it off. I got it at about a 5-minute spawn, so 10, 20, 30, about 35 minutes. So about a 35-minute respawn on the first guards. You can basically fill up a whole backpack with mandolins before you have to worry about old guard Gregor here. We'll take a quick peek, make sure his little friend isn't going to be around. We'll fizzle our spells, apparently. We'll try to get him to come back up here where we can safely deal with him. So again, that puts him on roughly about a 35-minute spawn. As you can see, there's Misty just spawned back there in the background. I said she is right about a 5-minute spawn on this server. So again, I believe on one of the P99 style servers, I believe she's probably still in that 6.5-minute spawn cycle. So on this one, so I've got her pegged down at about 5 minutes. So you got quite a bit of time. Of course, this guy just pretty much drops garbage we don't want, so we'll just leave that alone. And again, due to the nature of the spawn here, we'll see. We'll go ahead and grab her real quick. I think we should be fine. But basically, like I said, you got about 5 minutes on her on this TLP. And again, we're on Agnar. So I mean, I imagine it'd be about the same on live or on again one of the other TLP style servers. But you can almost use her loots basically to tell you when that pesky guard is going to be back in your way. And just because of how the camp is, again, that puts him at about a 35-minute spawn. You can fill a whole bag with loots before the guy's going to pop up and give you trouble. Misty herself, again, classically low hit points on the bard. We did not film. I had one kind of round of resist a little bit, made her a little bit tough, where I almost wish I'd hit the button in time just so you could kind of see. She will do quite a bit of damage to the pet. There is no doubt about that. She will put a blistering on him. Your pet is not going to be able to just tank her in the face. You're going to have to fear kite her. You're going to have to get her off of the pet. But again, a nice 5-minute window. Take her down. You can med all the way back up to full. You only have to worry about her friend about every one bag full of loots, assuming you have 8-slot bags. So about, again, 35-ish minutes. And that, like I said, that's the Misty Story Swapper camp. It's, pretty laid-back camp. Decently fun, especially if you're not worried about faction. You can see here, you take a couple hits, most of which I honestly just kind of don't care about. Yes, there might be some random bards that'll jump me here and there. But one other advantage, again, to this particular server, I know I've got POK, so I'm not too worried about getting randomly jumped. And again, you saw me in the first video how often I got lost in Nariak. I'm not exactly in a huge hurry to run back. But, so there we go, guys. That is this camp. Again, AFK style camp, not super active. You're going to get pretty good experience per kill. I probably should have tagged exactly what I had before I got here. We're on loot number 9, and we're, just sneaking up on 40% of our level, and we weren't even at a full. I don't even think we were at a full 10% when we got here. I don't believe. But basically, we've killed her 9 times. Do a little bit of math. I mean, you're making almost at this level. At level 12, you're getting almost 3% a kill, almost, which is, again, not bad, especially if you want to play some other games, keep some other stuff in the background. But with having said that, You know, hope you guys enjoyed this one. A little bit center focused here. Plus, we got a good win. Brother Estelden, yeah, he's walking back in. We'll put a foot in his little monk butt here, and then call it a win. But I hope everybody had a good time watching, and we will catch you guys next time.